What is going on YouTube? It is the Big K Cubs 360 here, and in case you guys didn't already hear, apparently the PlayStation 5 may be launching at the end of this year. Now this video isn't going to really focus on the hardware components of the PS5 or the alleged PS5, but I will be talking about that in summary anyway in a minute. But I'm going to really more focus on the possibility, the likelihood that we're going to see a PS5 be launching at the end of this year. I mean, it's something that's crazy to think about. But let's get right into it, guys. So to summarize the hardware components, the hardware side sort of stuff, the specifications and whatnot, apparently it's going to be based on an 8-core AMD APU, which isn't really surprising. But the interesting thing is it's apparently going to be based on AMD's Radeon Navi architecture. Now keep in mind, I'm going to get into this later, but Navi hasn't actually launched yet on the desktop platform. So that's obviously going to have ramifications for, you know, the likelihood kind of thing if it's launching at the end of this year. But there's that. It's going to be an 8-core, which is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's going to be strong focus on VR, virtual reality. Obviously, Sony likes to push the whole PS VR thing. Apparently, they're selling quite a few units, so if they got more powerful hardware, why not keep pushing PS VR? Makes complete sense. People say it's dead. I know, like, the VR hype trend kind of died down, but whatever. They're doing what they're doing. And apparently, there's a lot of dev kits already out in the wild, so developers apparently already have their hands on these PlayStation 5 development kits. This is all coming like from, I believe, a source called Semi-Accurate, and the information was locked behind the $1,000 paywall. So for this to all be out now for everyone to start talking about, well, I'm just here to report shit. But continuing on, that's all the specs. If you want to read more, I'll put a link in the description, or you can go to Semi-Accurate or whatever. It's all over the place now. But let's look at the likelihood of this. Number one, let's look at the timing. So the PlayStation 4 launched in November of 2013 or December 2013, January 2014, kind of depending on where you lived. So that was roughly, it's April 2018 today. That was 4.5 years ago. By the time this PS5 launches in the end of 2015 or holiday 2015, it would have only been 5 years. Now that's not to say 5 years isn't a short amount of time, but you know, it's short-ish. Now let's also not forget the point or the fact that PS4 Sony launched a like midway kind of thing with the PS4 Pro. Let's not remember, guys, the original PS4 and Xbox One. I made a video about this like 3 or 4 years ago saying that the Microsoft Xbox One, the original OG Xbox One and the original PS4 weren't powerful enough. And what do you know, in 2016 or at the end of 2016, both Microsoft and Sony came out with Scorpio or the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro with this focus on VR. Even though like half of the time the games are running at native 4K, and like that's not a conversation I'm going to talk about now. But we also had that happen. So it was only what, 1.5 years ago, depending on if it was Sony or Microsoft we're talking about here. In the case of Sony, it was November 2016, where we had like another quote-unquote console launch. So for us to be seeing yet another console just 2 years after, I mean, it's kind of weird. Now you might say, well, it's not a PS4 anymore, it's a PS5. Well, because of the whole PS4 Pro thing and the Xbox One X thing, we've kind of been seeing a blurring of the lines between what a console is. I mean, when I say what a console is, it was a stupid way to say it, but we've been seeing a blurring of the lines between console generations. I mean, we have like an Xbox One and then an Xbox One X, which runs games better than the previous one, and then sometimes, like, for example, let's look at PUBG. PUBG runs an absolute, I mean, it's a garbagely coded game as it is. Like, that's nothing against the developers. I'm not saying I could do better or anything, but the game doesn't run like as good as it should. So it runs terribly on the Xbox One and runs better on the Xbox One X. You've got that gap in consoles where it's the same console, but one runs, well, obviously not much better, but considerably better than the other. And it's the same case with the PS4 Pro. We've got the same console, same games, but one is actually better. I mean, when we look at what like the difference between consoles are, the name or the main difference basically is graphics. You could argue it's the OS, it's the hardware and whatnot. Well, that's all mainly dependent on graphics and pure hardware power. Now, this isn't like the PS1 and the PS2 and the PS3 where we're seeing like the rise of multiplayer and online play and whatnot. Basically, the only point of launching a new console these days is to, one, change out the UI, the user interface, and to upgrade the graphics. That's basically it. So once again, if it was to launch already like at the end of this year, I mean, it's so quick. Like, I extremely doubt Sony would be that stupid to launch the PS4 Pro like not long ago, because let's not forget, they have customers and they don't want to piss people off that just bought the PS4 Pro just to hear that the PS5 is coming out at the end of this year. So yeah, there's that. I've been talking for 5.5 minutes already. I can't even believe this. I hope you guys are still here. But continuing on, apart from the whole timing thing and that being unlikely, using Radeon Navi. Now, Navi has not even launched on the desktop platform yet apparently there's dev kits all over the place for a PS5. Now, I'm not saying that AMD isn't prepared with Navi, and they probably have like a lot of it ready, but to then go on and say that, okay, we're going to be seeing a finalized PS5 being produced in bulk, Navi GPUs are being made in bulk for the PS5, ready for a late 2018 launch. That's a whole different ball game, guys. The GPU supplies right now, as it is, are putrid, terrible. GPU prices are through the roof. DRAM shortages all over the place. I mean, I extremely doubt, just based on the entire PC scene and the whole hardware scene, with everything going on right now, that we're going to be seeing Navi graphics on a big scale by the end of this year, especially considering, one, AMD hasn't even really said anything about Navi on the desktop platform this year, and while it is supposed to be coming this year, I believe, we just haven't heard much. So yeah, there's that as well. What else is there? Apart from that, I mean, there's the whole, is everyone ready for it kind of thing? How much is it going to cost? If you have something like Navi, which is basically brand new graphics architecture, it's going to be expensive on launch, just like everything is. So yeah, how much we're going to charge for this? There's a lot of things you have to consider, but 2018, guys, it's unlikely to happen given everything. There's really only two main points I had, and those are really the only two main points I need, to be completely honest with you. I mean, once again, the PS4 Pro came out November 2016. It's only April 2018 now. By the time it's going to launch the PS5, that's going to be the end of 2018, which is only, what, a 2-year gap between that and the PS4 Pro, and a 5-year gap between the PS5 and the original PS4. Now, the usual console lifespan is 6 to 7 years. The PS3 and the Xbox 360 had a very, very long lifespan, but at the same time, it's hard to say what's a short or long lifespan, considering we've only really had like 3 or 4 proper generations. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see. We'll see what happens. If it does, and I'm dead set wrong, but I'm telling you guys, the likelihood of this actually happening, I would really put the likelihood of a PS4 Pro. I keep fucking, there's so many fucking consoles. I honestly put the likelihood of a PS5 out to maybe fall of 2019. I'm saying fall because I'm just so Americanized, like, of reading all the articles, but that basically means like holiday season of 2014, like spring, October, November kind of thing, I think. I'm Australian, so I speak in like autumn, spring. I'm gonna shut the hell up. I'm going off on a tangent, but yeah, I wouldn't expect to see the PS5 until either the end of 2019 or maybe the end of 2020, though that's kind of pushing it. I would say the end of 2019. 2020 is a bit late, unless they want to launch it earlier, like the start of the year kind of thing. Because if to wait until holiday 2020, I don't know. It's hard to say. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This was kind of a rambly video, but I haven't done something like this in a while, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So the Big K will see you later.